Hi, and welcome to the Diamond Report for Saturday, April 15th, 2017. This is your host, Doug Diamond. I've got us looking at Earthquake 3D. We're looking at we're zoomed in on the area on the border between Argentina and Chile, where a magnitude 6.2, 6.3 quake struck about 12 hours ago. And just wanted to show you that there are multiple rings there, not because of multiple quakes, but there are multiple agencies reporting the same quake. So that's what we're looking at there, and if I turn the rings off, you can see a little bit better where it struck, which is kind of right there in that little dip between the two countries, between Chile and Argentina. And now on to the headlines. CIA director suggests the U.S. will shut down Wikileaks. That's from the Daily Caller. Getting ready. Pentagon to protect the electric grid from massive attack. That's on the Washington Examiner. DARPA focuses on preventing a cyber attack. Well, let's hope they actually do and not just pay it a bunch of lip service, which is typical. Taxation is theft. That's from Judge Andrew Napolitano on Mrs.org. Why do we put up with this? Well, that's a good question. Because we're trained to be slaves, that's why. The feds collect record taxes, yet still run a deficit. No surprise there. Video. Maine Democrats laugh about rising suicide rates among white males. That's on the Daily Caller. Former senatorial candidate caught on camera joking about white men committing suicide. Isn't that nice? Liberal and loving. Trump must keep healthcare a priority to keep base intact. Trump repeatedly promised he'd quickly replace Obamacare. That's on the Hill. Again, my point is, let's get back to where we were before there was any national health care program. That seems like the best way to go. Just scrap it all. Get rid of the whole thing. Why do feminists want to be Islamic sex slaves? Find out what attracts certain people to being oppressed. Gavin McInnes says, will Generation Z save the planet? That gets a pretty hearty chuckle from myself. Texas warns about biggest mumps outbreak in 22 years. Mumps is a contagious disease. Yes, it is, but it will not kill you. And we certainly do not need more vaccines. From Mikhail Thalen of InfoWars, shadow brokers released most damaging NSA hacking tools yet. And from the InfoWars Nightly News, will North Korea's reign of terror be stopped? And on Breitbart, Trump's Michigan base begins to fall out of love with the Donald. We're watching him carefully. CNN's Chalian, Trump is going mainstream and establishment. Mainstream pundit falsely claims Trump is abandoning base in effort to drive a wedge between supporters. That's on Breitbart. Illegal entrance to the U.S. lowest in 17 years. Mexicans too afraid of Trump. That's on Truth Revolt. Trump advisor Gorka. No full-on war in Syria. This is not the Bush administration. That's on the American Mirror. Chinese media almost sets off military action with erroneous North Korea headline. That's from Zero Hedge. Bloomberg blasted a headline that Chinese news agency Xinhua reported that North Korea has fired a projectile. And from Rob Dew of InfoWars, Godfather of Disinformation exposed. Edward Bernays is known as the father of modern propaganda, but do you know who taught Bernays? Turkey to vote to become an international caliphate. It's a John Bound report. Radical leader attempts to push Islamism worldwide. From Gavin McInnes, left is calling for violence against Patriot rally in Berkley. The UK government says Facebook leaves pedophile content up after being notified. WikiLeaks exposes hive and hypocrisy of CIA director. Muslim war on cross cancels Easter in Egypt. That's from David Knight. Due to fears of backlash by radical Muslims, Easter has been canceled in Egypt. That's too bad that they're giving in to him. North Korea backs down in nuclear showdown with Trump. President works with China, South Korea, and Japan to push back North Korean threat. Exclusive. Roger Stone dishes on latest White House power struggle. Political Insider reveals details on the deep state battle against Trump. In a video, Mike Cernovich assaulted at anti-Trump protest. Leftist attack journalist for utilizing free speech. Hungarians press on with protests as Orbán takes aim at Soros. Thousands rally in Budapest against Orbán's crackdown. That's from Bloomberg. And from Millie Weaver of InfoWars, Rainbow Snatch goes to Hollywood. Do leftists support adding a pedophile P to the end of LQBTQ? That's a good question. From Dave Hodges of the Common Sense Show, breaking, Soros is now running the White House. Heavily armed swamp critters, did Trump ever stand a chance? That's from Zero Hedge. I feel sick because the U.S. is on the verge of making an extremely costly mistake. That's from Michael Snyder of the Economic Collapse blog. Breaking, suicide bomb attack on Syrian bus convoy kills 16 and leaves dozens injured. That's on the Express. Spotted, Putin moves military forces to North Korean border as world prepares for war. North Korea will be a field of millions of corpses. Experts chilling prediction. EU is a zombie. Brussels leaders compared to Walking Dead as European project crumbles. And more on the EU, how EU is facing rupture as Brussels splits into separate power blocks. Kim goes ballistic. North Korean dictator threatens nuclear justice as he shows off new missiles and submarine arsenal at Day of the Sun parade, led by tens of thousands of goose-stepping, fanatically chanting troops. Special forces raid, missile strike, cyber warfare, or more negotiations. Trump's choices for dealing with Kim Jong-un. But experts say there are no good options. That's on the Daily Mail. Could this ballistic missile one day nuke the west coast of America? Kim Jong-un unveils huge new weapon at Day of the Sun parade. North Korean soldiers who compared Kim Jong-un to a mentally ill child in extremely unwise joke are arrested and face death penalty. Crunch time for Korean crackpot despot Kim Jong-un. Missile crisis countdown has begun. That's on thegreatrecession.info. Christian Orthodox leaders call on Erdogan to repent and convert from Islam or find himself in hell with Muhammad. That's on the Gateway Pundit. Mapped. These are the cities Kim Jong-un can destroy with nuclear weapons. That's on thedailystar.com. The North Pole, the world's next battleground. 4 senior Daesh commanders killed in Afghanistan by U.S. mother of all bombs. Hackers expose NSA financial spying arsenal. Global banking system potentially at risk. That's from RT. Leaked NSA malware puts all Windows computers at risk. America flexes its muscle in South Korea as U.S. Army conducts defense exercises amid growing tensions with North Korea. He knows he can't win, but it would be an unimaginable humiliation for him to back down. In a deadly game of dare, Kim Jong-un will take the suicide option, says Mark Almond. That's on the Daily Mail. From Breitbart.com, House Freedom Caucus member DeSantis says we can pass something relatively soon on Obamacare. Yeah, try just getting rid of it. Marine Le Pen calls out Trump on major NATO flip-flop. Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday. That's on freedomoutpost.com. Muslim rape gang facing over 170 charges of sexual exploitation of 18 children. Death toll for mother of all bombs in Afghanistan rises to 90 militants, Afghan officials say. That's on RT. Thugs shouting Allah is great were behind a stampede at a Good Friday parade in Seville that left 17 people in the hospital. Pentagon scrambles for solution amid fears North Korea could blow up the American power grid. That's on the Express. U.S. strikes on North Korea could spark very messy war in South Korea, says ex-Reagan aide. Fed-up French voters warn civil war could be needed to liberate the nation from the EU. War declared on deep state political agenda. That's on WND. Putin taunts Britain again. 2 Russian warships are escorted through the English Channel by the Royal Navy amid escalating global tension. Pressuring North Korea will not work. Ex-U.S. UN ambassador calls for Chinese intervention. Pictured U.S. Army tanks locked and loaded on North Korea border. That's on the Daily Star. And from theantimedia.org, the last country America, quote, liberated from an evil dictator is now openly trading slaves. And what was it Hillary said? We came, we saw, he died. Le Pen faces disaster in election after, quote, monumental computer error. That's on Zero Hedge. North Korea shows off new ICBM sub-based missiles as U.S. aircraft carrier approaches. Kim Jong-un's warning to Trump. U.S. military hysteria has reached dangerous phase. It's on the Express. How America and China could stumble to war. Devastating aftermath of the mother of all bombs. Children play among the rubble in Afghan town where Trump dropped the explosive, killing 94 militants, including 4 ISIS leaders. Donald Trump to be first president since Reagan to speak at NRA annual meetings. That's on Breitbart. U.S. unveils devastating superweapon that nothing can survive to smash Russian nukes. That's on Daily Star. Cancer cells die in 42 days. Famous Austrian's juice cured over 45,000 people from cancer. Richard Sachs, the host of Lost Arts Radio, which I am the producer and engineer for, often talks about Rudolf Breuss. And this article is about that exact subject. So it's worth a look at. Natural News Blogs. The video of the day on stevequayle.com. Most intense warning from God yet. Be prayerful. This one is downright alarming. Japan prepares for North Korea emergency. That's from Zero Hedge. China has built a nuclear submarine mass production super factory. That's from nextbigfuture.com. A study, nearly 2 billion people rely on food grown elsewhere. It seems obvious to look elsewhere when local production is not sufficient, and our analysis clearly shows that this is what happens, said researcher Joseph Guillaume. That's on UPI.com. Volcanic eruption update. Strong phreatic eruption and lahars at Poas volcano in Costa Rica. New eruptive episode at Etna in Italy. Why Christians are being slaughtered in Egypt. Then we have yesterday's Diamond Report. Thank you, Steve, for posting. Timothy Alberino, host of the forthcoming documentary True Legends, There Were Giants, I think it's called Holocaust of the Giants, explains the connections between the mysterious Anasazi Indians, the ancient Amorites of the Bible, the island of Sardinia, and giants. That's on skywatchtv.com. Russia, Iran, and Syria issue warning to U.S. Warns of grave consequences if Washington carries out further missile strikes against the Assad regime. That's on timesofisrael.com. Libya enters new phase of armed conflict. Alarm bells are ringing. The world has another armed conflict on its map. That's on strategic-culture.org. Merkel admits there is no doubt some migrants pose a security threat. And Steve says, wow, what amazing brilliance and thoughtful reflection. Raised security concerns? Denial unto destruction. 3 million Turks have German residency. That's on the Daily Caller. Brave. Chinese Christians still attend underground churches despite risk of persecution. Last year, new reports surfaced that approximately 100 million people throughout China have started to worship in underground churches over traditional ones. That's on faithwire.com. Chinese components found in North Korean rockets despite sanctions. And a YouTube video, Knights Templar, Illuminati, Assassins, Freemasons History of Secret Societies. And Steve says, go to the 57-minute mark. War Theater. Was the Syrian chemical attack staged? That's on 21st Century Wire. From the Daily Mail, that's quite a shot. Russian humanoid set for space learns how to shoot a gun with both hands. From UnitedStatesProphecy.com, flashback, read the bottom paragraph. Vision of New York City bombed by 10 Russian nuclear missiles. Foreign armies will invade and occupy America. The enemies of America will bomb our churches and synagogues. 9-year-old boy has vision of Wormwood, nuclear war, and giants coming out of the earth. That's on online-ministries.org. Showdown in Berkeley on Saturday. Antifa threatens Patriots Day free speech rally. Shut it down. That's from All News Pipeline. From the Daily Mail, Julian Assange fires back at CIA boss after the director declared Wikileaks was a, quote, hostile intelligence service. Well, I guess if you were lying all the time and Wikileaks exposed you, you would think they were hostile. From All News Pipeline, a river of blood flows through April as we arrive at the killing season. Will 2017 continue this horrifying trend, or has the world learned from the past? From King World News, here is the really big shocker with the world now on the edge of destruction. It's all too easy to imagine it could lead to a conflict that is part nuclear, part conventional, part chemical, in which millions die and the world's economy loses trillions. Hundreds of Trump supporters and counter-protesters face off at Berkeley rally. It's on the LA Times. And this is just your Saturday reminder. If you go to geoengineeringwatch.org, in the right-hand column right here, you'll see today's Global Alert News post from Dane Wigington. Highly recommended reading and listening if you have a chance. It's about an hour-long radio broadcast. And then from the 11th, Dane also put this article up, Microwave Transmissions and Sprayed Aerosols Continue to Manipulate California Precipitation. Another very important read. Okay, that's it for today's Diamond Report. Thanks for listening and watching. If you would, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for further updates, and I'll see you tomorrow.